Last night, you died in a fire, or you flew over your childhood home, or you stood in a classroom, naked, while everyone stared. Then you woke up. You brushed your teeth. You went to work. You never mentioned it to anyone. This happens to you almost every single night, and you have no idea why. For most of human history, people thought dreams were messages, prophecies, visits from gods or ghosts or the dead. Then science came along and said, no, dreams are just noise, random firing, meaningless static your brain produces while it reboots. But the real answer is far stranger than either of them. Your brain is not resting when you dream. It is working hard. Some regions of your dreaming brain are more active than when you are wide awake, solving a math problem. So if dreaming isn't rest, and it isn't prophecy, what is it actually for? To understand that, you have to go back to a basement lab in Chicago in 1953. A graduate student named Eugene Asarinsky was studying sleeping children, including his own son.
He noticed something the textbooks didn't mention. Periodically through the night, the sleeper's eyes would dart back and forth rapidly behind closed lids. Heart rate climbed, breathing turned shallow and uneven. The body looked almost awake. Asarinsky discovered rapid eye movement sleep in 1953, and overnight, dreaming stopped being a mystery for poets and became a question for scientists. Here is what they found. You don't dream all night. You dream in cycles, roughly every 90 minutes, with the longest and strangest dreams arriving just before you wake. During those cycles, your brainstem floods your body with a chemical signal that does something remarkable. It paralyzes you. Your arms, your legs, your voice, everything except your eyes and your diaphragm goes still. Why would your body lock itself down while your mind runs wild?
Because what's happening inside your skull is too dangerous to act out. For decades, the leading theory was simple. Dreams are just your brain trying to make sense of random electrical noise. Two researchers, Alan Hobson and Robert McCarley, proposed that signals fire chaotically from your brainstem, and your cortex, the storytelling part of your mind, scrambles to weave that chaos into something resembling a narrative. Under this theory, dreams mean nothing. They're exhaust fumes from a busy engine.
But that theory has a problem. It doesn't explain the pattern, because dreams aren't actually random. They follow a script. Across cultures, across centuries, across everyone you will ever meet, certain dreams repeat with eerie consistency. Falling, being chased, losing your teeth, showing up somewhere unprepared. Why would meaningless noise produce the same handful of nightmares in a farmer in 1850 and a teenager in 2026? A Finnish researcher named Antti Revonsuo had an answer that reframes the entire question. He proposed something called threat simulation theory. Revonsuo argued that dreaming serves a biological function, simulating threatening events, repeatedly practicing the cognitive skills required for efficient threat perception and avoidance. In other words, your dreaming brain is not malfunctioning when it chases you through a dark forest or makes you fall off a cliff. It is running a flight simulator, a rehearsal space for danger, built by evolution, for a species that spent most of its existence surrounded by predators, rival tribes, and lethal accidents.
Think about what that means. For nearly 200,000 years, your ancestors slept in the open or in shallow caves with leopards and hyenas and warring strangers within earshot. A human who could rehearse danger while unconscious, who could practice the feeling of fleeing, hiding, fighting without ever risking real injury, had an edge. Their brain stayed sharp for the real thing. Their body learned the adrenaline pattern before it ever needed it for survival. Dreaming wasn't a glitch in your ancestors' biology, it was training. That's why your body paralyzes itself during these episodes. You are running simulations violent enough that if your muscles obeyed your dreaming mind, you would leap out of bed and start sprinting or swinging or screaming. The paralysis isn't a side effect, it's a safety lock, built so the rehearsal stays contained inside your skull. But threat simulation alone doesn't explain everything either. It doesn't explain why you dream about your ex from 10 years ago, or why you dream in vivid detail about a conversation you're dreading tomorrow, or why grief makes the dead visit you at night.
This is where a different kind of researcher enters the picture. Rosalind Cartwright spent decades studying dreams not as ancient survival code, but as emotional processing in real time. She tracked people going through divorce and found something striking. The dreamers who processed their pain inside their dreams, who dreamed directly and painfully about the breakup, recovered faster in waking life than those whose dreams avoided the topic entirely. Your dreaming mind, it turns out, isn't only rehearsing danger from the savannah, it's also digesting whatever is sitting heaviest on you right now. More recent sleep science backs this up. Matthew Walker, a sleep researcher who has spent his career studying what happens in your brain overnight, has shown that REM sleep, the stage where vivid dreaming happens, strips the emotional sting from painful memories while keeping the memory itself intact. You remember the breakup, you remember the embarrassment, but the rawness fades, almost like your brain is sanding down the sharp edges while you sleep, so you can carry the memory without the wound staying open.
So dreaming may be doing two things at once. An ancient one, rehearsing danger, the way it has for nearly the entire span of human evolution, and a newer one, layered on top, digesting emotion, filing away the day's wreckage so you can function tomorrow. Here is the part that should genuinely unsettle you. None of this requires your permission. None of it requires your awareness. Every single night, while you lie there doing nothing, your brain is quietly running search and rescue missions through your fears, your grief, your humiliations, your half-formed worries about tomorrow's meeting. It is rehearsing your death in 1,000 small, harmless ways. So the real one, whenever it comes, finds a slightly more prepared animal.
Why then do most of your dreams vanish within minutes of waking? If they're this important, shouldn't you remember them? Maybe not. Maybe the value was never in the memory. Maybe the value was in the rehearsal itself. The same way a fire drill doesn't need to be remembered in detail to leave your body knowing where the exits are. You don't consciously recall every dream you've ever had, but your nervous system has been shaped by every single one of them.
Which brings us back to last night. The fire, the flight, the naked classroom. You woke up and called it nonsense, a random firing of neurons, nothing worth mentioning over coffee. But somewhere underneath that dismissal, an ancient animal part of you had spent the night practicing how to survive being chased, how to survive being seen, how to survive loss. It has been doing this every night of your life, and it will keep doing it tonight, whether you believe it matters or not.
You didn't dream because your brain was idle. You dreamed because for 200,000 years, The humans who rehearsed disaster in their sleep were the ones who were still alive to wake up from it.